welcome to my kitchen. My name is Maria, and today I'm going to show you how to make two things that are great for hot summer weather. And one is called Pico de Gallo, and then the other one is going to be the guacamole. Okay, so Pico de Gallo is called, basically it can be called a salsa fresca or salsa cruda, which basically salsa cruda just means like raw vegetables in your salsa. And so when you just talk about salsa, usually that's cooked, but I really do prefer Pico de Gallo. I like it raw. And so our main ingredient, of course, is tomatoes. So here I have a bunch of tomatoes that I've chopped up, so I'm just going to put them in the bowl here. And we've got our tomatoes in the bowl. Now, if you don't like your salsa or your Pico de Gallo chunky, then you can just put everything in a blender, okay? But I like my Pico de Gallo chunky, so I'm gonna have everything cut up. So I've got the tomatoes, I've got the white onion, so I'm just gonna put some white onion in here, and then we've got our cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to put it in there. But cilantro really gives it a great flavor, and it's very healthy for you. It's a very healthy herb that you can just add into just about anything. So one thing with this type of Pico de Gallo or the salsa fresca, you can put in a serrano pepper. You could put in a jalapeno. The jalapeno is a lot bigger than your serrano pepper, but the serrano pepper is probably actually going to be hotter than your jalapeno. And so you don't want to put too much if you don't like your salsa too hot. So I would only put one serrano pepper in there. And the jalapeno, you could even probably put, maybe even if you don't like it too hot, maybe a fourth of this or half of it. It's not going to be as spicy as the serrano. You can always add more pepper to it later if it's not hot enough for you. So I wouldn't start with too much. And I usually just about add one. And so I'm going to chop that up, and you can use plastic gloves to actually, when you handle your peppers. I'm kind of used to handling them, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my hands, but I'm going to be really careful, and I'm not going to touch my face, and I'm definitely not going to touch my eyes. And if for some reason you end up doing that, or you end up having your you touched something, or your hands are burning, which is why people recommend you wear gloves when you cut up peppers. If your hands are burning, then what you really need, the only thing that's going to help that is milk. And you're going to want to just soak it in milk, okay? And the milk takes off the heat, and it really, you got to soak it for a little while, and it really helps. So this is the serrano pepper that I chopped up. And I didn't use the whole thing because once the salsa is sitting, you see I still have some of this. This has a lot of seeds in there, and it has the ribbing or the little white pith part of it. The white pith and the ribbing is actually where a lot of the heat is. When you put this in the fridge, like let's say you're not going to eat it right away, maybe it's for a barbecue or something, and you want to make a bunch, but you want to put it in the fridge, it's going to sit there, and it's just going to kind of take on more heat. So that's why you just kind of want to start off slow if you're not wanting super hot. So I don't know if you can see, we've got our tomatoes, our cilantro, our onions, and the serrano pepper. And then what's really important is your lime. So I usually like take the lime, put it down, and roll it. And that's supposed to help give you a little bit more juice to it. And then I'm going to cut it in half. And then you can just squeeze it into your salsa. But I've got this handy little thing that's going to help me squeeze it. So I put that in there, and it's going to catch all the seeds too. And so I'm going to squeeze, and I'm putting half a lime in there. I wish you could smell this because it really smells good. And you can always add more of anything. If you feel it like it needs more lime, you can always add more lime. I've let it sit for a little while and then add it and try it out. And that's the same with the heat. So basically, for salsa cruda or for pico de gallo, you want your tomato raw, your raw onion, your raw pepper, your raw cilantro, and then your raw lime juice, right? Super important. And basically what's great about the pico de gallo is that you can enjoy it with fish, you can enjoy it with just chips. I have some blue corn chips here, and you can actually put it even on chicken, like grilled chicken or anything, if you wanted to like spice something up like that. Or just, you know, if you've made your tortillas or your quesadillas or your sopes, then this is something really great to put on that. So there's your salsa cruda or salsa fresca, or as we know it, the pico de gallo. Okay, so the thing with the pico de gallo is it's very much exactly what you're going to put in the guacamole. You're just not going to put as much. Okay, you won't put as much tomatoes, of course. When you have your guacamole, you need your avocado. And what's really important with avocado is that you actually wash the outside of the avocado really good. And the reason why you need to do that is because you're going to cut into your avocado. So I'm going to cut into it, and I'm just kind of moving it with the knife and my hand all around, okay? And because your knife has gone into the avocado and into the meat of the avocado, that's why you got to wash your avocado. So now I'm just going to twist in 2 different directions, and then there's your avocado. So you can actually use a spoon to like scoop this out and put it into a bowl, and that works really well. And then you'll mash it with a fork, or even like a potato masher if you want. I just use a fork. And if you want to be a little more careful, because it is kind of a little dangerous, you don't want to have kids doing this, you know, cutting the avocado. You definitely want an adult, but let's say you don't feel comfortable with the knife and maybe you want a little more protection, you can actually get a little handy device. A friend of mine gave me this, and this is kind of awesome because this is the knife that cuts into the avocado. So you still do it the same way. I'm going to show you here. We're cutting, and so I'm just rotating that avocado so we get that straight line. Twist 2 different directions, and there you go. What's also really handy is usually I would take a knife and I would smack this seed, twist it, and pull it out. But what's really great about this is that it can actually, right here, take the seed out. So you're going to smack it, twist it, and then there's your seed. And the avocado seed, you want to keep at least 1 in your guacamole. And that's supposed to help it from getting brown or black. So you want to kind of keep your guacamole nice and green. And so another part of what's great about this tool, because it does 3 things. It cuts it, and then it pulls that seed out, and then you're going to use this to just get your avocado out there. And I don't know if you see that, it's cut it, and then you put it in your bowl. Ooh. So now it's in your bowl. I'm going to do this one here. You can see I'm cutting that and putting that in the bowl. So now that it's in there, I am going to mash up my avocado with my fork. And so it's pretty easy. I like my guacamole chunky, so I don't do a lot of mashing. I just kind of, I like it creamy too, but I guess I like chunky food. And so here it's all mashed up, and you can see. So now I'm going to add kind of basically what we did for the Pico de Gallo. You're going to add some onions. So I'm going to add some onions in there. You're going to add some tomatoes. So I'm going to add the tomatoes in there. And I don't want to put too much, just a little. I'm just putting a little tomato, and I don't know if you can see that. It's just not too much because I don't want the tomato to overpower the guacamole, because you want that flavor of the avocados to come out. And I'm going to put my cilantro in there. And I like a lot of cilantro. Again, we've got our lime that we're going to put. The lime juice. I'm going to squeeze that. The lime juice also helps from the guacamole to turn black, but it also, of course, gives it that great flavor. And I think for the guacamole, I'm going to put the jalapeno in there. I usually do the I usually do the serrano pepper. You can see there's that like pith, a little white part. I don't want my guacamole too spicy, so I'm just going to take that out and then cut that jalapeno up. And the jalapeno is not going to be spicy, but the thing when you're cooking with peppers, the smaller the pepper, usually the spicier it is. But you just never know. You never know until you're eating it whether it had a strong, hot flavor to it, or if it was just. And I might put the rest of my serrano in there. If for some reason I'm doing this and I don't feel like the guacamole is hot enough, I might throw in a little bit of the rest of the serrano in there for later. But that's kind of the key. And so with guacamole, you can eat anything with guacamole, right? I mean, I'm sure you've all had it before. It's wonderful. Just on chips, just on your chips, you can have it with your cilantro, with your tomato, with your onions, and your peppers, and your lime juice. Those are the basic ingredients for guacamole, and I hope you really enjoy it. It's a great dish. It's a very healthy dish. Both the Pico de Gallo and the guacamole are both really great for barbecues, really great for picnics, or just for fun at home. Even if you're by yourself, why not? Because it's delicious and it is super healthy, and I hope you really enjoy it. You don't have to get your kitchen hot at all when you're making these. So I hope you guys enjoy these recipes and you have a great day. Thank you very much for joining me today.